Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Right, I played 36 holes today. It's not enough, right? We're now having a lesson. It is pitch black outside, but that'll not stop me and Chris working on some numbers. Chris, we're back.
We are back.
Yeah, he's been smashing it fair. You're doing good.
Doing all right.
Yeah, he's smashing
ticking
it.
along,
Right?
ticking
I've
along.
always seen you. Yeah, we haven't done a lesson. I feel like we've done a lesson outside. We've done loads of lessons outside.
Yep.
I think the last lesson we had was to stop the hooking video. It was, wasn't it? Luton Hill.
Yep. Yeah.
Did that. Stopped hooking it, which
Yep.
is amazing. But now I think we obviously need to work on the next thing.
Yep.
And I say, I'm not really going to keep talking to the camera. Like, this is generally my lesson. So my lesson, again, you can watch it, see what Chris tells me. And yeah, it might relate to you, it might not, but you might learn a few things. So yeah, Tom can just, and we're going to crack on. Right.
So a good thing about today is obviously we've got the data for the first time.
Yeah,
we mentioned that.
Yeah, well, we haven't been here for ages. So, where do I start? I've been playing well. I have. A lot of people watching will notice my swing's got a lot shorter. Again,
Wider.
we'll say this, it's not shorter, it's wider.
Yep.
So a lot of people don't understand that. So
Yeah.
for me, my feel with driver, with irons, with everything, is my left arm just stays, I go straight back for as long as I possibly can keep this left arm straight.
Yep.
It naturally probably cocks a little bit at the end.
Definitely want some cocking of the right wrist, right arm.
It must have. With the power you go back, it's going to have to go back.
Yep.
But I feel like that's made me a bit more consistent. I would say that's why I've been playing well. I feel like the consistencies came from going wider and shorter. Because if you go wide left arm, my left arm can only get to here. As far as it can
And you'll
possibly
notice
go.
how like your rib cages move now as well, which is pretty
so
cool.
I can literally only get to there. So the club can only get to there. I do that with drive, I do that. That, for me, has made that a lot easier to come back down on line.
Yep.
And I'm playing pretty neutral. Like, it might draw 10, 15 yards left. It might go straight 10 yards right. It might go on the pin.
Yep.
I've kind of got rid of the slicey and hooky one. So
yeah, you feel pretty consistent. So I guess today, like
with irons, I feel really consistent. There might be, I think, again, there might be, obviously, I would say the only bad thing I feel like, a couple of times I go, oh, that's thin. Oh, I caught that a bit heavy.
yeah,
So I feel like I'm doing the wide thing really well. It's shortened my swing, it's wider, but I feel like I'm just catching a few thin or heavy.
Yep.
And it's annoying because I'll hit, my driver's got better, and I'll hit when I've got like 120. And to be fair, irons have been really good, but the only bad thing that can happen is just, I guess something that can improve is the strike.
yeah, and I
The
guess that's
strike-
going to help you get your distance control a little bit better, bring you in
I mean,
proximity.
them
to
irons
hole.
are unbelievable. Yeah, I feel like they're really good for me. They haven't got that speed foam in, like the P770's had.
More consistent numbers.
Yeah, they're bang on. So
Spin rates are better.
yeah, so my numbers are just bang on.
So I guess today, with the number one goal would be not to overcoach. Mate, you're playing well.
Yeah, I'm playing
You feel
well, yeah.
good.
I think have a look at driver. Driver's been unbelievable recently. But then again, I know why, because I'll go, and then my arm will just bend. So I've probably just got a bit across, face open, and it just, my bad shot's like a fade or a little bit. It goes further than the fade in the trees, right? I find it. It's
Just
not like
leaks too
gone.
far to the right.
It leaks to the thingy. So yeah, I think we'll obviously see the numbers of driver, but I feel like we've just got to get that strike a little bit more consistent
Yep.
and a little bit better with irons.
All right.
To the point of like, I'm not going to go, that's thin, or I've got a wedge in, I've gone, bad. Like, there's nothing.
Yeah, and like we said, like
I'm making silly mistakes.
one or two around at your level now, playing off 4 is going to kill you.
It's dead, isn't it?
So, and we'd rather be noted.
gonna
We'd
hit
rather
it,
be
I'm gonna hit
slightly
it.
thin. Yeah, fine.
See
We'd
this
rather be slightly thin than fat. But there's two ways of hitting a thin, right? There's a hanging back kind of scoopy thin, which we don't like,
Which I've probably always done a little bit.
which we don't want, definitely
Yeah.
don't. Or we got like a good player's trap thin, which is when you kind of do shift and get the low point sufficient, but you almost move the low point too far forward that you just catch it, a little bit high up on the ball, but still attacking it on the down. A lot of tall players will do that shot. I noticeably Dustin Johnson, I see him at the Live event recently, thinning it almost most of his short irons. Divots very thin, very long, almost like a 5 pound note.
Yeah.
So thin is not the end of the world.
I do have that actually, but my divots are quite thin.
That's a good thing.
I'll get a divot, it's all right, but it's not a fat divot.
We like a thin, long divot,
Yeah.
as long as the plane is landing in the right place,
Yeah.
plane being the club head. So we'll see where it's landing.
Yeah,
All right, let's
I'll
see
hit
some
a couple
shots.
of, 8 lines.
Couple of warm-ups. Good contact. Little leak, is it? Yeah, okay.
Maybe that's a bad shot. Maybe it's a leaky right one.
slightly leaky, but that can come from the same family. That kind of push fade or the overdraw is coming from what you're doing. So I'll demo it first and then we'll look at it. So from a data standpoint, your low point, which is defined as basically the bottom of the golf swing or the lowest point of the arc, or I'd say the end of your divot if you were to have one. So not where you make contact with the ground. The club would then continue into the ground for a period of time and then it would start to arc back out of the ground again, right? So the lowest point of the golf swing, on tour with a mid-iron, would see a tour player roughly around 4.3 to 4.5 inches forward of the golf ball. Yeah. You know, so if we define that with a golf ball, consistent strike, and this is where your thin and fat shots are coming in just slightly. You know, they'd come into the golf ball, club would work down, would make contact with the golf ball with some level of shaft lean, then the club head would hit the ground, continue in the ground for that 5 pound note divot, and then come out again. At the moment, your low point is somewhere between 1 and 3 after the ball. So the best one with the last one was 3.1. Right. Okay. You did a couple that are 1.2, 1.1, nothing terrible, but it just basically means that the swing circle, should we call it, is 1 or 2 inches too far to your trail side, so to your right side. Okay, so too far back. Yeah. So that can cause you to use the hands a little bit more, so you can occasionally hit the overdraw. You can get stuck behind it and leak it out to the right. You can catch it fat, or you can catch it thin.
So it's all do with the actual.
So everything you've said, the swing shape is like your club path. Every single one was between 0 and 1 degrees from the inside. Now you said at the start you're feeling quite neutral, so we'll leave that there. Yeah, right? I feel that. So you're 0, 1 degrees. So there's nothing even worth talking about there. Yeah. But the low point is too far back. Okay. So that you know is going to encourage the hands to become a little bit more active, and for you to have to almost go searching for that golf ball. Okay. So what do we see in the pattern? We'll look at the video. First move down, we spoke about this before, left hip is sliding up too much. Right. So imagine like I'm like a pencil, middle of me. If the middle of me slides up, the top half backs up, you know, the chest then stays to the right a little bit, and the arms relative to the sternum get further behind me. Right. This is where you are, an exaggerated, you're there. And then what you're doing is you're working back onto it late, and you're kind of saving it. You know?
And that's a leaky one or overdraw one.
Yeah, so if I go here and trap myself and I don't have enough time, very easy to hit like a thinny one to the right. Right. Or I could subconsciously realise, oops, you're a bit trapped, Chris, and then save it with my hands. Again, a bit thinny and to the left. And you can see when I move like that.
And if I save it like perfectly, it'll go straight. Or it'll be a little draw, a little fade. But that's why, all low point.
Yeah, low point. And let's talk about this. We're talking about 1 or 2 inches here, right? Your golf now, what you're going to find is getting to a 4-3-2 handicap. If I'm working with elite golfers, we're looking at 1 or 2 degrees. Yeah. But that 1 or 2 degrees for you, you'll start to get the sensation of control.
This will be why the odd hole, I'll be really close. But normally I'm 20, 30 foot.
Yeah, so that's it. Proximity.
Some holes I'm really close, like don't get us wrong. But today, that match with Tom, I don't think that was anything inside 20 foot. So a little bit off. I want to get to a point where I'm hitting driver good, and I've left myself a wedge in. Why have I got a 30 foot putt?
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
And then I'll lag it bad, or I'll roll it past, and I make 5. Where's that came from?
So think about this: if your path is really consistent, what other variable is going to help direction? Assuming we hit it out the middle.
Obviously the face.
The face, right? Yeah. And a nice little famous saying is, if we get the low point under control, we get face control for free, right? Because if I get the low point out of control, the face is more likely to start overtaking or becoming a bit more inconsistent, where, you know, some nice things happen if we get the low point under control. We typically have a little bit more shaft lean. The handle typically leads the club head for a little bit longer, you know, so we're not going to get much of this kind of closing rate or manipulation through the ball. So what we've got to feel, we'll look at it on video actually quickly. So nice, watch the left hip work up, really subtle. So at this point here is where it's at. So your head almost looks like it's trapped behind it. The belt buckle's angled slightly up. You can see that knee kind of buckling a little bit. And then your body stays behind it. So it looks like this. Yeah, you look like trapped behind it. And then you'll see the forearms kind of flip and you look kind of a bit stuck here. So the energy is kind of going and then pulling yourself round late. Okay. So all you've got to feel, right, to start with, is in transition, we know the left hip joint moves forwards and up. So what would be the opposite of that? Feeling like the left hip joint moves down and back. Okay.
I know I do that.
Just for the first
thing. I've worked that before.
Yeah, that's it. It's nothing. It's not going to be groundbreaking. It's going to be something that you've maybe compromised. Okay, good. It's a bit slightly, didn't rotate enough, but look at the low point now. What does it say?
4.4.
4.4 after. How did it feel in terms of strike?
Compressed.
Yeah, so you actually went a bit like this, onto it a bit too much,
Right,
but
okay.
I don't mind that to start with because it's the opposite from backing out.
Yeah, what will happen if I do that?
Well, get ahead of it. If your upper body races ahead of it like this, you're probably going to block it because you're still blocking off your torso, right? So we want to feel like it's get to the top.
I might be better actually trying to do it fast rather than...
Okay, do one more feel for me.
Do you want me
Swing
to
up and
slow?
stop. I just want to do it down to impact, so stop there. Right, let's move down to impact. So the first move, it would feel lower. So now your chest feels on it. Now you're done, right? Now you can come this way.
Right, okay.
Now you can do it, yeah? So it's just that first movement. That's it. And you feel like your left shoulder will feel slightly lower too. Nice. Backswing was a bit in though.
What?
Backswing was a little bit in. Look at your low point though. 4.1 after. Okay, I don't mind that at all. That's going to be slightly more draw bias.
It's 2.7 though, it's gone up,
Yeah.
right?
So that means that there's still going to be a little bit of slide. And I'll be like, I'm being a bit picky here. If you live at between, say, 4.5 and say 3,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Right? What I don't want to see is like 0.9,
Then club pass,
1.1.
I'm club pass then, because I'm concentrating on that, that's dropping.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking of something else at the top.
Yeah, but if you rotate, guess what, where's the path going to go?
Yeah, it's maybe.
So this is why, show me something actually, just for your feel piece. Show me the sensation that you can do of just moving this back. Right, I just want to see if you actually do it. Because feel versus real is different, okay? Same swing, just feel like the left hip moves back. Yeah, it did. So that was nice, but look at the low point, right?
3.
3 after, that's pretty close to okay, right?
Yeah. That tilt.
Definitely not as much. Because you're moving it back, look at your hips, how they're unwinding there.
Yeah.
Right?
Still over.
Versus this one. You can see the difference? Look at the separation. So your head's behind you.
Let's try one of them.
That was okay. Don't mind it, I don't hate it.
2 though.
Yeah, because it was, but I like the path and face relationship a lot.
Right.
It's your left, yeah, like, I mean, look at your impact.
What if I just try and keep my chest over it a bit longer?
Again, that's you can feel that, but what I worry about when I see people do this, right? If you start trying to go like this, yeah.
No, I mean just like, imagine someone just put like imagine I'm just like, go wide, hip comes back, but I just stay.
No.
Nah, dead.
No, we need staying down, right? So if you're
Oh,
starting
yeah.
to stay down,
Not
the
rotating.
body will stall out. You start throwing the arms this way. No,
Trying to
don't
think
like
of
that.
a
at all.
feel where I can get that.
Okay, we're going to try an upper body feeling.
What I was saying about the hip is, if I get the top, and I try and get the hip down, I know for a fact.
That's good.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to go, but I'm going to slide.
You have to slide, right? So let's talk about this for a second. Sliding, okay?
Yeah.
So the average tall player will slide between 5.5 and 6 inches on the downswing. Sliding in isolation is bad, right? Rotating in isolation is bad. But if I go slide and turn, that's money,
Okay.
yeah? So you want the relationship of two. So we're having sliding, we're having tilting, we're having some turning, and we're pushing out of the ground. There's lots of things happening. Don't worry about moving this way. You have to move this way, 5 or 6 inches.
Right, okay.
But what you were doing was this, right?
That's what I was worried
That
about.
we don't want to do.
Right, okay. Let's try.
Okay, I like the hip movement. Open up a bit more with that. That path will be a little bit from the inside. Yeah, okay. So that hip movement was good, what you did there, but you just didn't get around enough. Much better contact. Still going to be slightly back on the low point. And that's when you get the overdraw, because I can see your chest doing this.
I'm just trying to. It's hard because it's a feel where I always do that. I don't know if it's just.
Okay, I'm going to give you a feeling which sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'll give you a
Yeah,
drill.
it's worth it. We'll try it.
I'll give you a drill. Set yourself up to the ball and take your hands off and put this across your shoulders like this. I don't think I've ever done this with you before. Cross your arms and hold the club in place. Yeah, like that. Right. So now we're taking your arms out of it, okay? So move your body in such a way that you would get this club head over that ball. Stop it impact. Just to impact. Don't worry about the backswing. Keep going. Don't let it close down though. So hold it here. Right. You feel that?
Yeah.
Can you identify something in your body that feels massively different? Because this is forwards, and now you haven't got any arms to cheat it, so you have to move your body to get it up there.
All right.
You feel anything different?
Back's killing.
Okay, so put any. Maybe. Well, hopefully we're not going to injure you, but feel it again. Can you feel the right side like covering
But
it
I do
more?
feel like that hip's more for that. What I did when you were standing there is close.
What about the upper body?
That's what I mean. I can feel like my left hip. I can feel like I can pull that back.
See that right shoulder though? That's good. So do that again. Left hip back. Go on, do that. But get the right shoulder to the ball.
Right, that might be one, isn't it? Should I go
I'm going through all of my thoughts here. It's hard.
It's hard. It's not hard.
It's hard.
How's it hard?
Because it's got to be easy. Oh, well, okay. That was a better move. I like that. That might be the one. Do that again. Look how much more neutral that is. Do a few more.
See, that was a bit.
Yeah, a bit. That was hip. You really threw the hip back. Low point was better.
And will that block it?
Say again.
If I hit the hip too much, it'll block it, won't it?
Not necessarily. No, not necessarily. Could still not. It might not change the low point though if you're not having any pressure shift whatsoever. Get it a little bit wide. The last two have got in a bit. I like that. I like that a lot. That was better. Much better going back. See how you fell off it though?
Yeah.
That's your hip slide, trapping yourself. Turn it through. Did that feel manageable?
Yeah.
Do it again. 3.5 ahead of it. So what that's going to do is that's going to accompany two things, isn't it? Let me just.
Is that the similar to the one you're about to put the T in?
Well, that's the
So
reaction
I don't know
drill.
which is.
That's a reaction drill. This you can do on the course, right? So I'm thinking about when you play. So imagine there was a bit of, we know that when you slide, where does your chest point?
The sky.
Right. So what would the opposite of that would be?
Chest will like picks me on the floor.
And it has to be in front because if you focus on doing it here, I'll get stuck here.
Yeah.
If I say like the opposite to going here is to go right. If I feel like my chest points at that ball, at that tee, well I know that I'm going to guarantee my low point getting up here.
Okay.
Plus, it's going to allow my body to continue to rotate.
It's half on the turn.
I'm just trying to find something that you can take
Yeah,
onto the
mate, and
course.
this is why I tell everyone that you are a good coach. Because if you went for a lesson with someone, and I couldn't get that first thing, and we spent an hour just trying to get that one feel, you'd walk out with your head fried. You go to the range, you couldn't do it.
You've got to find something that's manageable, yeah.
Your game would get so bad because you tried to do it on a course, even though you couldn't even do it in your lesson. The fact that you've given me 5 different things for just in change one thing is the reason that we're here. A chest to the blue tee, yeah?
That's all I want you to do, yeah. Just feel that. So it's down at the tee. Nice and smooth. Okay, I much prefer this. Watch the low point on this one. I know it's right. 5.2.
Yeah.
Right, so like I say, like in all my videos, if a feeling doesn't change the data, then don't do it. Yeah. But it doesn't always feel right straight away.
I mean, I could even do it like as a pre-shot
You have to
routine.
train it
Pre-shot
to
routine
become
would be
authentic. But you feel that. That's much, and I want you to feel like do that again. So when I'm looking at you from here, stop it impact. I can't see your left side because you're turning that chest forwards. Can you feel your left side almost doing this, pulling out the way?
Yeah. So I'm gonna.
That's it. Yeah, I like it. I like it. And that last one was good. How did it feel?
Might go left, but it felt.
Might go a little left. Look at the low point though. If that's a bad one, 3, it's much better than 1s and 2s. So that was flush, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was a low point.
Do it again. 3.2, sufficient.
Yeah. I think that's maybe. But then again, I might, if I get really obsessed with that, I might start trying to. I might stop and try and hit it with
That's
the
what I mean.
club.
There's different ways in which we can move low point. I don't want you to start. This shouldn't feel like, and this is why I don't want this to feel like a massive change because your swing's good. It's just a slight changing feeling to move the low point. Too far back. See how much higher the hands are than the chest?
Yeah.
So they're outrunning it. And then, so you see it, the chest tilts, then it rotates late.
What if I like? I've got slower from the arms and downswing, but like let them I don't know.
Got another feel. I'm going to go for it.
Let me go to the toilet for a little rest.
So just feel like you load 55% of your pressure on your left side. Okay, like that. And then as you go back, swing up to the top and stop. Feel like you stay a little bit more centered on the ball. Yeah?
Yeah.
So what you do is you set up 50-50, which is absolutely fine, and you load behind the ball, right?
Yeah.
But if you're someone who struggles to get back to the left, then why move off it?
Okay.
Yeah. Now moving off it is good for power, but you already hit it long enough, right? So let's see if the low point changes this way. So step up to the ball, get slightly wider in your feet.
Like that.
Yep, perfect. Feel like your weight's slightly on your left side, like 5%. And then feel like your nose stays looking at the ball. That's a simple feel. If you don't let your nose move off it, normal swing, but just stay on top of it. And then swing through as normal.
Oh God.
Did you feel like that was do you feel like everything was Okay, what do you feel different there to you?
I think I just did a bit of a fast. Maybe I was.
Did you feel left-sided there?
I don't know. I thinned it though.
Let's see the low point. 2.8. So still tilting a little bit. You've got to be more left. Yeah, because you look at this here. It's better, but you're still falling back ever so slightly. So you've got to stay there, basically.
Yeah.
So keep your
I'll
left
stay
foot
left.
pushing
I
in.
think you stay left.
Feel like just stay left. Something really simple. And then stay left the whole swing. The whole swing. Okay. Better. 3.5. Do it more. Do it to a point. Oh, that was pure, right? That was really pure.
That was pure.
And I'll just show you. It feels like you're miles left, but it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
And then when you go back, if anything, you're still loading to your right side, which I like, by the way. I want you to load into your drill side. But occasionally earlier on,
But because I've gone 65 left at the start.
I'd say you're slightly on your right side, ever so slightly.
Yeah.
And then watch your head. There's a lot more movement off the ball.
Okay.
See that? So now, and then if you then hang back like that, so you're kind of setting up right, moving further right, and then hanging back right. So there's a lot too many right elements. So let's just add this left element in there.
Start,
like in your mind, just exaggerate one here, 80% left. Yeah, like that. Now stay there and hit one. Just stay there, don't move at all. Do you feel like you stayed there?
Yeah.
3.3. Doesn't look as much as it feels, does it?
No, not at all.
Much better. More centered, look at the pivot, yeah?
Yeah, did I didn't.
A little bit behind, but that's better, it's lining up better.
Like we said, we get a little bit better.
A little bit better. Pretty well struck, wasn't it?
Yeah, I definitely turned.
And then you see it squares it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it's just finding that harmony. But you've got to think about that, right? The turn offsets the tilt
Yeah.
to some degree. And the little bit of a preset in the left side for you gives you like, it's basically low-hanging fruit to match your intention.
So if I lean slightly left and always make sure I finish my swing,
Good.
that should add the turn. Because if I get stuck and start stopping here,
Yeah,
if I get a little bit left, go wide, always make sure I finish my swing.
Just face the target, yeah.
I'll always.
I like the sensation of just getting left, which we know is adding a forward element ever so slightly. So for you, you felt like you were like this, but in reality you're like that, nothing.
Right.
And then when you come through, just feel like you face the target or finish the swing, because again, that's a forward element.
Yeah, I'll finish the swing,
Yeah, that's it. I actually prefer it. You didn't quite get through that one.
No, I didn't.
And see that's when you leak it to the right. So that's just when that body, what did you try and finish the swing with? When you try and finish the swing, have you got what do you think of? You just try and smack it?
No, just make sure I've finished here.
Why don't you do that left thing and try and point your chest at that tee? Leave it there and turn your chest. Right, that strike, by the way, that's the kind of sensation you want. Look at that 4.2 after.
But what I feel like I'll do is I'll start going, I think I'll start fatting it more.
You won't if it goes forwards.
Because I feel like I'm going into, into there, and I won't go left like that just has.
Yeah, that's the only thing I worry about with the chest
I like
thing.
the left thing, if it's got one better,
1 inch
to a
better.
3,
Yeah.
fair enough. But
Yeah.
if I start doing
Just keep it chest.
that,
Yeah, okay.
that ball could go anywhere.
I don't want you to drive into it like that.
That's what I think I'll end up doing.
Okay, just doing that is simple, right? How about that? Like, that was all right. Look, 4.
That's 4.
Yeah, but just be careful that you don't go, put it there and then forget about it. So put it there. If you're going to do
Basically what I do on a lot of
put it there and then just stay there. So you're going to feel like you're like this at the top. You're still
Yeah.
turning, but you're going to feel more tilted left because when you rotate, you can't get back. Right. So you basically go rotation, tilt. Okay, so if you're going to tilt on the downswing, because that's what you do, then you better tilt on the backswing more so it matches the tilt on the downswing. Does that make sense?
Straight.
So you straighten you out. Okay. You can't rotate and then tilt. Okay. So you have a rotate and rotate.
What, out of interest, what will that end up doing to the shot shape?
Nothing.
If I'm hitting like a straight, it'll be exactly
the same. If anything, you'll hit a little bit more of a push draw because when you hit down more, so when you move the low point forward, you hit down more and it'll move the path ever so slightly to the right. So that's why it's important you keep it wide. So stay left.
Are my shoulders left though?
No, you're good. You bang on there. Stay left and then keep it wide. I mean, that strike was flush. Yeah, 3.5 after. And then say, like, for example, you hit like tiny leaks. I mean, talking like the club face there is still 0.3 degrees closed, but your strike is so much better, right? Yeah. So it's finished 30 feet right of your target. If you continually just go, all right, I'm just leaking it to the right, then maybe when you haven't got so much golf, you work on a little bit of rotary stuff to get it in front.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But that's going to give you, you're definitely not going to thin it or fat it as much if you do that, because you've got the low point forward. Now, with this, I will say this, why I went to this last is, because you naturally have speed, it's okay for you. If you're trying to create speed, moving a little bit left and right is good for you, as long as obviously you're not sliding and we're using the ground a little bit more. But second to that, when you're doing this, the only time I tell people to stop doing this, if it compromises launch.
Right.
So when you feel more left, you probably feel like you're going to hit it lower.
Right.
You're still launching it 18, 19 degrees with a 7 iron or an 8 iron, which is fine, right? If you start launching at like 12 degrees, so if I went like this, if I stayed super left, I'm going to chip one, mind your head. If I stay super left, this is too much, and I stay here and hit this ball, right, and I start launching it at 7 degrees, then obviously you're now leaning too far left, right? But your launch, and then that's, you can see I've hit down loads. I've hit down loads into that because I've stayed so far left. It's moved my path way to the right. I've started to hook it. It started compromising things. So just keep an eye on the launch of the ball. At the moment, it's launching perfect, so it's fine. Because before, because you were flicking it a bit, it was actually launching quite high.
Yeah.
So it's actually a good thing to bring it down a couple of degrees.
Right. We got there in the end. Let me just recap. Left foot forward. No, it's not left. Oh yeah, it's a little bit of weight left.
Pressure on your left.
And my rib cage just goes back at the same level distance. I feel like actually, when I think back to shots, that's been screwing me a little bit more than I think. Right, hope you enjoyed that. As always, the road to scratch continues. I'll see you soon.